Hello, everyone. How are you today? This is Kelly Lee Steppenfield, and today we're going to talk about cause and effect. Before we get into that, let me introduce myself. I'm Kelly Lee Steppenfield. I'm a fifth generation metaphysician, spiritual teacher, author, and coach. And I have a couple of announcements to get to before I start talking about cause and effect. And that is that on June 27th and 28th, I will be speaking via Zoom for East West Bookstore out of Mountain View, California. And since they're via Zoom, you can join from anywhere in the world. All you have to go to is eastwestbooks.org and go to their events page and scroll down until you see my events on the 27th and 28th and click the button and sign up. Plus, there's also a special if you want a 1 hour spiritual power hour with me. And so, and I'll put in the comments the website that you go um, to sign up, and you can come and join us on the 27th and 28th of June. On the 27th, I'll be talking about You Don't Have to Die to Transform and about my first near-death experience and what that was like. And then on the 28th, I'll be talking about soul vibration and the evolutionary path of our soul. So let's get to talking about cause and effect. Cause and effect is in everything. In other words, everything we do has an effect. It's not positive, it's not negative. We perceive it as though, but it's not. It's just everything we do, there is a reaction to it. And so when we want certain things to happen, but we keep doing the same thing and it's not creating the effect that we want, we need to go back and look at what we're doing, because what we're doing is creating what we're getting. So if what you're doing is not getting you what you want, you're getting the effect from what you're doing. So you need to change what you're doing. And then also, if you are looking at the broader picture, everything that happens in your community, everything that happens in your state, in your country, everything that happens worldwide is all in relation to cause and effect. Now, you may not be in politics in your country, in your state, in your city, in your town, but that doesn't mean that your actions and your attitude doesn't have an effect. And your actions and your attitude not only affect your life and your cause and effect on everything you want it to bring about in your life. So your attitude and what you're doing is creating the effects, the results, the manifestations in your life and in those around you. Now, sometimes it's just a matter of changing your attitude changes the effects you have with relationships with people around you. Sometimes it could be the change in your attitude changes your mindset and makes you start going for things that you didn't go for before. Sometimes changing our attitude and saying, you know what, I don't like how these things are happening right now in my community. What part can I play in making the effect different than what it has been? Because if we keep seeing the same thing cycling, that means we keep having the same issue, creating the same effect. And right now, this is extremely provident. I can't talk. This is extremely, very much in the public eye right now in the United States. We've had the same cause, and it's been getting the same effect. And people are complaining about the effect, but claiming they have no part of the cause. We all have part of the cause. It could be in our attitudes, the way we speak, the way we look at people, and the things we keep doing. And sometimes they're so subconscious because they've been so ingrained in us because we've done them for so long as a person, as a society, or whatever, that we don't even realize that we're doing them. So we need to go back and we need to look at our attitudes. And this goes for if you're wanting to change your relationship issues, if you're wanting to change your financial issues, if you're wanting to change your spiritual connection, if you're wanting to change how you look at life and enjoy life more and have more recreation and travel and fun in life. It doesn't matter what area, your health, anything, there's a cause and there's an effect. If you eat a gallon of ice cream every night before you go to bed and you're not losing weight and you want to lose weight, but you're not breaking the cause to get a different effect, then it's not going to change. It's the same with everything. It's the same with social media blows up, us versus them. That's the cause right there. Us versus them. Because there is no us versus them. We are all one in humanity. We're all divine energy. So if we go us versus them, whoever them may be and whoever us may be, right? It doesn't matter whether it's racial, sexual orientation, political, one country versus another country. When we go into us versus them, that thought process right there is giving you the effects of what we're seeing blowing up in the US right now. There is no us versus them. You're a human, I'm a human. We're both incarnated on this planet at the same time. We chose how we incarnated, but that doesn't mean that anybody is better than anybody else. Everyone is equal in the eyes of God. The only difference is your soul vibration level, but that doesn't make you more or less in any way, shape, or form. And so if you find yourself in the us versus them energy, even if it's us, we do CrossFit versus them who do yoga, or us that are have our checkbook balanced to the penny every single day and them that do not, or us that do whatever we have to do to advance our careers versus them that just go about their business and they're going to collect their paycheck and they don't care anything about advancing their career. They're good where they are. Doesn't matter where the us versus them energy is. As long as there's us versus them, there's going to be strife. There's going to be that constant banging up against each other. So when you're looking at cause and effect, you're looking at, you need to go within and say, where am I wanting the effect changed first? What in my life, what in my relationships, my family, my friends, my coworkers, my community that I'm involved in, my city I'm involved in and that I live in, that I'm a part of, my state, my country, whatever it is, province. What is the effect that I no longer want to be part of my paradigm, that I want to change? And once you figure out what the effects are that you no longer resonate with, that you see a need for you to do your part in changing, then you go and you start looking at the causes that are causing that effect. Because there is nothing that's happening that is not first started with a cause. So you have to really look within and you have to say, okay, I may not like to call myself out on some ugly truths. I may not like to call myself out if I'm eating that gallon of ice cream every night, right? I may not want to call myself out on because maybe I could be a better citizen just in my neighborhood. But look at those causes, because once you acknowledge the cause that's giving you the effect that you have right now, you can start changing it. But if you don't acknowledge it, it's there as a subconscious paradigm, and it's just the record's going to keep playing and keep playing and keep playing, and it's going to be on repeat for the rest of your life until you acknowledge the cause, and then it stops. And once that stops, that record playing in your subconscious, then you can actively decide you're going to change that paradigm. You're going to change that habit. You're going to change whatever it is that you're wanting to change. If you're having an issue with a relationship, okay, step back. Was the relationship always this way? No. Okay, yes, relationships, there's 50% you, 50% whoever the other person is, right? Don't look at the other person's 50%. It makes absolutely no difference, because you change, the relationship changes, whether they change or they do anything or not. So look at the relationship, get down and ugly with yourself. What is your part? And what have you done to create the effect that is you're receiving? Because you change your attitude, you change your cause, how you're reacting, how you're behaving, how you're coming towards that relationship, your energy input into that relationship changes, the effect automatically changes. It has to. It's a divine law. There is no question that it will change. Let's say you're in a marriage. I've been married for quite a few years, quite a few decades actually, but there are times in a marriage where one person has to change their energy so the energy of the relationship changes and it gets back more on a positive note. Because maybe one person is going through a really tough time and they need that other person to really step up, right? I know for my husband and myself, we've had to do that for each other over the 3+ decades. To step in and say, you know what, it's my turn to put the positive energy, really put it into the marriage so that the effect that's going on right now in the marriage ceases and it changes. So stop and think about those different areas of your life, and then stop and think about the cause and the effect. Because if there is an area of your life that you're not like, okay, this is my dream life when it comes to my career. This is my dream life when it comes to my spiritual connection. This is my dream life for this moment in time. Because guess what? Your dream life, that pinnacle that you set out there, will evolve, will grow, will change. I believe it is Matthew McConaughey that said his hero is him in 10 years. And that 10-year date changes every single day. Because 10 years from today is a different date than 10 years from tomorrow or 10 years next month. So as he grows and evolves, he's always striving to be that hero of himself in 10 years. And we do, we grow, we evolve. So what you are wanting right now will not be the same thing you want in 5 years or 10 years. And that's on purpose. But if we don't like what we have right now, we have to look at the cause. We have to get real. We have to get down and dirty with ourselves and say, okay, if I don't like my weight, society hasn't given me my weight. I could maybe say it's my genes, but then again, you chose to come into this life in this body. So you chose those genes. So think about what it is that's causing it. If you live in what we call here in the United States a food desert, where there's not a lot of grocery stores and stuff in certain parts of different places, is part of it, could you say, okay, I have to drive an hour to a grocery store, and so I end up going to the gas station and just getting junk food and eating on it? That could be part of it. But when you go to the grocery store, you may not be able to go every week because it's so far away. But when you go, do you stock up on frozen fruits and veggies, frozen meat, or do you stock up on the junk food and the sweets? So you have to look at the cause to change the effect. Because without changing the cause, you're never, ever, ever going to change the effect. It would be the same as someone wanting to start a business and never unlocking the door and wondering why they don't get a customer to come in. They have to unlock the door. Unlock the door within you. Unlock the door that says, hey, you know what? This is changing. I've had enough of this, and this is changing. And whatever I need to do, I will do so that the effect that I get, the desired results I get, change. So think about all the different areas. Think about how it's up to you to do your part and set your mindset that that is what you want. That's the effect you want. That's how you want that area of your life to manifest into reality so that you're going to change what you've been doing so the effect of your actions changes the outcome. Because if you keep putting that, okay, I'm old school, I say record, but if you keep putting that song on repeat in your subconscious mind and just letting it play, you're going to keep getting the same effect. I hope this really helps. And I really hope that in this time of events going on in the United States, everyone, and I mean everyone, takes a step back and looks at what they're doing to either perpetuate the problems or to help heal the problems. Because this is not new. This is not something that's new. Riots are not caused by a certain race. If that was the case, only white people could riot, right? Or only this race could riot, and that's a bunch of BS. Every race is rioted, and as Martin Luther King Jr. said, riots are the language of the unheard. So from American ancestors who were living here in the 1700s and rioted in Boston to what's going on today, riots are nothing new. But riots are a voice that people use when they feel like their voice has been taken away from them. So what can you do, whether, if nothing else, it's just doing some outreach. It's just doing something saying, hey, I've never asked you this, but what can I do to help you? What can I do to make this better? Be it, maybe it's volunteering at a food bank. Maybe it's whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. But the more people that put out positive energy of changing the paradigm of the effect that we get when people are suppressed in any way, shape, or form, especially when people are violently suppressed. It's up to the rest of us to stand up and say, no more whatsoever. So stop and think, what can you do not only to change all the effects in your own life, but what can you do for your community? What can you do for your country? What can you do for the world to change this? Because this is so blatantly obvious right now. Because if you look astrologically, if you look at anything about the times we're in, the numerology, the astrology, anything about 2020 up for the next couple of years, we're in a time of change. We're in a revolutionary time of change. And it's us to declare where that change goes. Do we evolve as a race? Do we evolve as a species? Or do we go into another dark ages? Because people who think this is bad, study history, study human history. What we're going through right now with the pandemic, with everyone up in arms and everything else is nothing new. But it's all heightened because of the energy of it right now. So I want you to think about not only changing the effects in your own life by changing the causes, but also changing the effects for all of us. Because the more of us that do it, the more of us put our energy out there, the more of us are saying no more, things will change. Things will change. They have to. So I hope you really thought about it. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box, put them in a private message if you don't want to be public, or go to my website and sign up for a free 30-minute consultation, and we will get to the point to where you understand the cause of why you're manifesting the effects that you have in your life and how to change them. Because the cause and effect is always, always, always in action. It's a divine law. It's not going to change. It's always there. Everything we do has a reaction. But the thing is, and quantum physics has caught up to metaphysics in this, everything energetically is a wave, a thought, a strand of hair, a table, this laptop I'm using to do this Facebook Live. Everything starts out as energy. Everything starts out in the energy of an idea, of an inspiration for it to be created. And then it either stays in that wave format until someone says, okay, I've played with that idea enough in my head, it's energy enough, it's time to bring it into effect, it's time to manifest it. And once they start putting all the other divine laws and stuff into practice, that wave becomes a particle. That wave becomes this desk. That wave becomes this laptop or a strand of hair on your head or whatever it is. That wave becomes a particle. So the cause is your subconscious programming that you've got to change. The effect is the particle. It's the manifestation of the energy in the wave, in the cause, and what's leading up to it. The actions you're taking are based on that subconscious programming in that paradigm of that record or that music on repeat, 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 repeat. That's why you've got to do the work. You've got to go in and you've got to get real with yourself to change those causes, to change that energy wave so that the particles that you create are the particles you want, not just the particles that you live with because you've been an unconscious manifester for all of your life. Okay, I hope this helps. Let us all send love to this world right now. Let us all do what we can to raise the vibration of this world, to be on the leading edge of creation, and to create the world we want to live in. Until next time, expect miracles every day and take care.